This week on Testify, we meet Nancy Lugano, a believer, a wife and a mother of 3 sons who had to go through 7 surgeries, lost her voice, but a joyful soul.
To start with, my name is Nancy Lugano. I have a personal relationship with Christ. I am a mother of 3 sons. I am a wife. Yes, basically, that's who I am. Yes, I was born in a town called Kisumu, brought up in Kisumu, but my original home is in Maseno. So I went through Kisumu for my education. I'm a town girl, went to Kisumu Girls, which was just within the town, and also went through a PAG church in Kisumu. It was fun growing up as a young girl in a town school. I enjoyed it. I went through University of Nairobi, did admin. Thereafter I went to NIST, that is Nairobi International School of Theology. I did a counseling program there. Born in a family of 8, 4 boys, 4 girls. It so happens that I'm the firstborn in that family. And we love the family unit. So strong. Yes. I grew up in a Christian family. My mom was born again, and even my dad. And we used to be taken to Sunday school. We would do Christmas carols, very active. Then we used to have the youth camps. Then we'd go to the youth camps in Goibei Girls and Yangori. It's during that time that I encountered Christ in my life and went through the water baptism. That's when I was informed too, and I cannot forget that.
Having been brought up in a Christian family and attending Christian events, she met with the lover of her life, whom they have stayed together for 29 years in marriage, up to date, loving, caring, and supporting each other.
I vividly recall that my first encounter to meet my husband, it was during the youth camps. We were these different 2 teams, one coming from Nairobi, the other one from Kisumu, and we used to do so many programs together. That's why I met Mr. Lugano at a very young age. And later on, we got married. We wedded in Valley Road. Yes, this is 1989 in January.
You touch on her, you have a problem, you have touched me. You touch on me, you have a problem with her. So we encourage each other and we love each other. Amen.
The journey has been awesome. God having blessed us with 3 sons. However, we kept on expecting a girl, but I think God saw it fit to bless us with the boys, and we are happy with those boys. They've been there for me as a family, and we've moved on, pulling through. No matter challenges that come, there's no smooth one, but we've pulled it together.
Nancy grew up enjoying good health, never gotten sick until 2015.
Thereabout in October. It so happened that we had gone for a training that had been organized by the employer, my employer. So during the training, we had a very interactive moment, doing everything together.
Then my wife sent me a photo on WhatsApp, telling me that she's in Mombasa. She was asking me the hotel I was putting up, and I told her, "Can't be serious." She said, "I'm very serious." And I told her where I was. She told me to send her photos again, which I did. We are comparing the rooms she's in and the room I'm in, which one is better.
Called a few friends to chat before I went to sleep. I talked to my mom, who is so close to me. She's my encourager, my mentor, very prayerful woman. So we chat so much. We chatted that night. Then I told her, Mom will talk the following day. So I talked also to 3-4 people. Then I went to sleep. It was about 11 in the night. But when I tried to sleep, I couldn't. I became very uncomfortable in the night. Then I didn't know what was happening to me. So I woke up, went to the washroom, came back. I also tried to fall asleep. It was so hard. But somehow I just slept briefly. Then I woke up around 1, like I wanted to go to the washroom. I realized my face was swollen one side. So I tried feeling the side, it was numb. I tried just shaking my head to ensure everything was okay. It was okay, and I was alone in the room. So I wondered what could be happening. I called my son, who is in the medical field. I asked him, I'm feeling 1, 2, 3. So quickly he asked me, Mom, it sounds like it's an allergy. What did you eat during the day? So I explained to him. He told me it doesn't sound like you took anything unfamiliar. But nevertheless, could be the environment you are in. Maybe something is reacting to you. So he told me if I could reach the reception of the hotel, they gave me something like antihistamine just to cool down the reaction. So I tried to reach. By that time I called my husband, who was on Mombasa, because he had gone to do his official duties.
She called me and she told me she was very sick, that I call our son, our firstborn son. So when I talked to him, told him, Mom is panicking for no reason, that maybe that's just allergy. And I was not at peace, because she told me, if you look at my face, I've changed. I'm looking like an animal, and I'm worried. So I talked to my sister-in-law and Alan. They promised they were going to go there very early in the morning. I looked for a booking that day in the morning. I didn't get it. So I told her I'll be leaving Mombasa in the evening that following day, and encouraged her. So I came. By then my son told me, relax, we have picked her and we've taken her to Nairobi. I think it was a reaction of maybe the drug she used for high blood pressure.
Later on I was taken to Machakos Hospital at night.
Due to the body changes she was experiencing, she panicked, thus causing her pressure to rise.
So the doctor asked me if I had a personal doctor. I told him yes. So he told me he wouldn't want to interfere with any medication, but after that he would refer me to my doctor. So he said it could be a stroke, mild, but don't panic. So he gave me an injection to thin the blood, and then told me to relax, then gave me something to sleep. We went back to the hotel room. By then I looked at my face. It was still looking very different, but he kept on assuring me, don't panic. Went back to the hotel and slept a bit. But I didn't lock the hotel room because I was so scared in case anything happened. I notified my colleagues the door will be open. You can just push and check on me. So I woke up at around 5, few minutes to 5. Like I wanted to go to the washroom. Then I went to the mirror. I was looking so different. I'm like, is this me? My whole face was swollen. My lips were down, hanging. And also the saliva was just oozing down. There was a dent on the forehead. And I stuck on the mirror. I started talking to myself, is this me? Is this me? Then I'm like, what has happened? If it is a stroke, I want to see the way it moves. I will not go to bed. Just stick on the mirror. So I called my son. I told him, Alan, the worst thing has happened. He told me, Mom, what is it? What I feared most has happened. Mom, what is it? I told him I have a stroke. He told me, no. Mom, don't panic. It's not a stroke. Don't panic. I called my husband, told him the same. Called my sister. Then my son told me, Mom, I'm on my way, I'm coming. Just relax, don't panic. Somehow they came, removed me from the hotel to Nairobi Hospital, where the medics came, started checking on everything.
She did not understand what was happening in her life. The glands that produce chemicals to control growth and the body functions had to be removed.
We were admitted, so he came on the following day. They started running so many tests. They realized the thyroid had swollen and it was broken, actually in pieces. So they decided to handle that first before they could address any other thing. So the doctor reached a place where the family needed to make a decision if I could be taken to the theater.
When they talked of surgery, I resisted. I didn't want her to go. I told her, let these guys treat what brought you here. I'm not for the idea of, but you know, there was that. My son was pulling with my sister this side, and I was all alone. So somehow they won.
So later on, we were taken to theater. They did the operation, the surgery. Then I came out. So the following day, the doctor came to give me a brief of what had happened in the surgery. So he told me they had removed both thyroids, because when they reached the theater, they realized even the other one was affected. And he told me, Nancy, you'll be fine. Don't worry, this is something small. The rest we'll look at it later. And I felt like, okay, fine. Stayed in hospital for about 4 days. They discharged me. I went to the house. But you see, the day I came from the theater that night, I wasn't breathing well. I was struggling with my breathing. Because I remember the nurses waking me up in the night, because I was snoring. Even the corridors, people would hear. So they woke me up and they told me, Nancy, you're not sounding fine. Your breathing is not okay. Can you try and lift yourself up so that your head is in a position where you can get air getting into there? So they tried to put me in that position. But in the background, I kept on hearing the nurses say that this could be a stridor. Me, I never got to know the term stridor means what. So I just assumed they're talking amongst themselves. And they called one of the doctors, and the doctor said, no, it is not. It is not, it is not. I'll come to see her in the morning. So the following morning, the doctor comes and still says, it's not a stridor. I'm discharged. Then after 4 or 5 days, I'm in the house, struggling with my breathing. I couldn't bathe, I couldn't move. I was wheezing, some funny noise. I'm breathless.
Swallowing was a challenge. She could even, when she takes water and it chokes her, I'm telling you, you have to open the windows, all the door, the windows, and you know, even if it was eating, you can't eat, you know, at that stage. If you had not eaten, you forget about it. Because how will you even enjoy that food? She has not eaten, you see how she's suffering.
But it's like I thought it will just bite, with time it will go. Because this is the assurance the doctor kept on telling me. So one night I realized I cannot even breathe at all. So I woke my husband up. I told him I'm not fine. You need to take me back to the hospital. We prepared and went back to the hospital in the middle of the night. Then the doctor was called. That time I was trying to breathe in and I could not breathe out. And I hear from the background another doctor say, this is a stridor. Now I'm hearing of this term the third time and nobody's explaining to me. And another one comes and confirms it is. So they say this is an emergency, we have to take her to the ward, for a surgery again, to theatre. And the first scar has not even healed. Now I'm like, what are they going to do again? And in the throat again. Fine. That I stayed in the ward the whole night. I struggled the whole night. I couldn't sleep. I didn't have peace. So in the morning, the doctor came with a team of doctors. And I was not able to breathe at all. So I remember my bed surrounded with a team of doctors. And the nurse said, prepare her for surgery, for theatre. And I panicked. I was so anxious. And I was like, what is happening to me? So the doctor said, Nancy, it is well, but we need to save your life. You can't breathe at all. So they prepared me, and there was nobody around me. None of my family was around. So he thought they would do something else, so he had not been informed. My son was called because he was around, so he was there. So I was prepared, and I was so anxious. I panicked. My heartbeat was so fast. I told God, God, give me peace. I remember that. God, I pray, just give me peace in my heart. And I think God ministered to me, and I surrendered everything. I said, let your will be done. So I was taken to theatre. I stayed there the whole day. I was being removed from theatre at around 6 in the evening to the ward. I didn't know what they had done to me. But I could see so many pipes hanging like this down. The oxygen is there. So the doctor came to explain the following day. Nancy, we had to do some surgery here to open the airway so that you are able to breathe. And I could not talk. So he told me, by the way, you don't have a voice for now. And let's not address it for now, it will come later. So I'm like, okay. And I was in total pain. Now 2 scars, almost at the same time. But I was now able to breathe. I was not struggling. And then I was discharged, went to the house. Reaching the house, I realized I was not even able to take in fluids. I would get choked, become breathless, and even fall on the ground. And they had to fan me, open the windows to get air into the room. And I wondered what could this be again. So when we went for a review, the doctor told me, you'll have to battle with this for some time. You'll be getting these chokings more often, but with the time, we hope you'll manage. So don't panic. When you are there, people who are around you should just give you enough room and open the windows, and then you relax, you're able to move on.
I can tell you it was not easy for me. Because I had to stop all the things that I was doing. I had to be there for her day and night. And I can tell you, we've We're just the two of us in the house. We didn't have even a house help because we didn't need one. We can do all things. The kids have moved, and the experience I went through, it was not an easy one.
So I'm like, okay, is this a new lifestyle? I'm like, for now, you'll manage that. I asked the doctor, will I talk? He kept on saying, don't ask that. As in this one, I will just whisper into somebody's ear. But for now, we are happy you are breathing. The rest, we are not concerned for now. But he assured me that the situation maybe after 6 months, it will improve. So I was booked for some checkups, review after every 3 months. They used to insert some tube in my throat just to check how it was responding. So every other time you do that, you would say the nerves are paralyzed. They've not woken up. Then he tells me still we give it another 3 months. It went to 6 months, it went to 8 months. He told us 13 months. Then it's like there's nothing happening at all.
Life became hard and painful for Nancy as she developed complications during this time.
With my urinal system. So they had to take me to the theater again and do a surgery. Within that time, I'm like improving. They're checking on so many organs just to ensure everything is okay. The doctor says that I have a cyst on my liver. And this one devastated me.
When they talk about the yeast on the liver, I think I panicked more than her, but I didn't want to show her.
As in, how come so many things are happening? So this doctor said, for this one we don't want to touch it, we have to sit down and consult with a team of doctors, then we find a way out.
Not only that, but she also felt that she was losing her beauty.
I remember I'd lost my hair. I remember my nails were breaking, falling down. My skin was cracking. My eyes were bulging. And because of calcium levels, I was also losing my teeth. And it's like my world was just falling apart.